Time glitch? Something weird happened to my brother and I tonight. Tonight, I believe my brother and I somehow got into a time loop or deja vu. Something odd and nothing feels right anymore. My brother, 13 years old, and myself, 25, were in a car waiting for our family to be done at Walmart. It's about 1940-ish. We think nothing of waiting and just talk passing the time as my brother tells me about school from his 6th grade adventures, mainly about weird kids in class. Keep in mind, we are in the back seat of a truck and are in the parking lot of Walmart. Looking to the right as I'm seated on that side, I see a man wearing a dirty white shirt running with his daughter as they wail and holler and laugh. Seeing this, my brother and I both laughed because it was kind of funny to watch. On the left of the truck, on my brother's side, is the blue car. A man is packing that car but taking forever, so we go back to talking. About 2 minutes later, a group of 3 girls walked by the truck, laughing and saying random banter that I can't quite remember. Something along the lines of someone being so funny. They get in the car, diagonal to the truck, and laugh before pulling out and leaving. My brother notices the blue car guy finally leaving as well, moments later. He commented with saying, "Finally." Here's the weird part. After we talk a little bit more and laugh with each other, suddenly we hear a familiar wail. I turned to the right and it was the same dirty white shirt guy running the same path with the same daughter laughing. I said, "Deja vu," aloud and felt a little weird. That feeling of what in the world? My brother laughed a bit thinking I was miming till he looked and noticed the blue car guy backing again. We pay no mind, thinking maybe he forgot something and go about talking again till we hear the laugh of the 3 girls. They load up and pass our windows again. Getting in the car, diagonal of us, same outfits, same being so funny. By now, my brother and I are looking at each other. I mentioned it's weird and why is that guy running the same path twice? My brother says, maybe he forgot something in the store. We shake it off, and I look at my dying phone at 2% charge and with note the time 9:50. My phone dies trying to load up YouTube, and we laugh and talk. My brother takes a switch after some time and notes the time is still 9:50. We were talking for at least a good 5 minutes. We think it's weird, getting a little nervous, but distract each other with jokes. About what feels like 2 to 3 minutes later, the same white shirt guy and daughter ran out of the store, wailing and laughing. We see it, and now are worried. Turn to the left, and the blue car is still packing. My brother comments, maybe we are in a time loop like you said. Then the girls come out and go to their car again. This time, we do something different. We watch this white shirt guy load up his daughter in his van and talk to the driver for a bit before getting in and pulling out. I was curious to see if they actually left this time. The girls leave next, and finally the blue car. My brother states, if it happens again, we go in the store. We feel like it's been ages waiting till we see our family leave the store and come to the car. They don't believe us. Only our father who likes to read about the years, and then we make note of the time, 9:55 p.m. How did all that happen in what felt like at least 20 minutes happen in 5 minutes? How did we see the same people 3 times doing the same thing 3 times? We aren't tired and we both witnessed the same events and both are in agreement. Our family says they felt strange in the store but leave it at that. What happened to us? It's been on my mind. Were we in a time loop? Any answers help. Thanks for reading. TLDR. My brother and I waited in the car for our family at Walmart and witnessed the same events happen 3 times with the same people around all somehow in the span of 5 minutes. Last night at 10:30 p.m. then got to like 10:42-ish. Looked back down and it was 10 p.m. That led me here to this sub last night. That is so odd. You guys were in it 3 times in a row. By the second time, I would have gotten out. Kept a more close eye on all those trees as to when exactly they live. That's so cool and interesting. It's these exact stories that make me question what we depict as actual reality and what's the simulation. That was definitely a time loop. Scary, man. This is so freaky, but the kind of freaky that I want to hear more about it. I can't imagine the heart-sinking feeling of panic the third time. Did your friends tell you to wait in the car, or was it a choice? Perhaps the two of you were meant to go inside with them, causing a weird path divergence. would explain why they felt odd as well inside the store, because it was never meant to happen that way. Just thought. Actually, it was her choice. His legs were hurting from walking all day, so I said, let's just stay in the car. Sounds like you were near the site of Singularity event, and the space Brotherhood needed to put the timeline into a loop so that they could fix the glitch and then allow time to continue forward. If you or your brother happen to experience any sleep paralysis events, that's probably them talking to you. Or you're probably an alien anyway. Maybe it was your subconscious that fixed the glitch. Wish I was there to see it myself. The thing is, even if you were there, it's likely that you wouldn't have been aware of the time loop, as you would have probably been caught in it as most people were. And if the time loop wasn't just a local event, then we all went through it without knowing, and the only known people who were aware of it were Opie and their brother. Was the engine on of the truck you were in? Excess fumes could affect the whole fam, and will explain why all of you felt off, but Opie and brother suffered more exposure, thus worse symptoms. That being a hallucination due to gas fumes intoxication, it still doesn't justify them both having the exact same hallucination. Mind my words, I have nothing against rational explanations that are actually rational. But if you want to give off rational explanations that have obvious and gigantic logical flaws, you could at least be more creative than hallucination induced by intoxication. This one's getting quite old and trite. And also, it will be nice to read explanations that are actually rational just in general. Since at least in subreddits like this one, there's almost always at least one supposedly rational explanation in almost every thread. But you can rarely find any that actually have been the slightest shred of logic, rationality. Need to rule out the horses before feeding zebras. Ope did not address if the engine was on. It was a question that needed to be asked to rule out the lowest hanging fruit. 1. Whole farm reported filling off. And 2. Not known if the engine was on when Opie told us the story. Need to rule out the horses before feeding zebras. Yeah, I agree that that's true, and it makes perfect sense, generally speaking. But in cases such as this one, whether the engine was on or off, rules out nothing at all because two people having the same exact hallucination is just not explainable with fumes intoxication or anything else, to be honest. So my point still stands. If you want to offer rational explanations, rule out the horses. That's perfectly fine, and it's in fact a quiet, healthy attitude. But the rational explanation has to be rational. Otherwise, it's just annoying, especially in subreddits like this one. And suggesting that people sharing the same hallucination can be explained by intoxication simply doesn't make any rational sense. If it's a single person, the one experiencing the hallucinations, or if multiple people have different hallucinations at the same time, sure, then some sort of intoxication or poisoning is definitely a possibility. But shared hallucinations being explained by this kind, or most if not all kinds to be honest, of rational explanations is a trope that is as old as it is absurd. Truck wasn't on, cues not in truck. They could be filming something and repeating the scene. I can't explain the time not passing. Now, reading this made me remember the thread about strange happenings in Walmart stores. That's why I felt like I've read this one before, but it was just posted 4 days ago. If you guys want me to read those strange stories in Walmart next, then subscribe and like this video.